Hey guys. I thought it'd be fun if I showed you how to do a little painting, and you can watch. And if you've got some watercolor paints, you can join along with me. It's not hard. We're gonna paint a carrot today, and I'm just gonna be using regular old watercolor paints, just like the kind that you have at your house. Um, just plain old watercolor brush. If you don't have watercolor paper, try to find the stiffest paper that you can find. Copy paper will work, but you need to be careful and don't get it too terribly wet. And I would recommend taping down the edges with some masking tape onto a hard surface. It will keep the paper from getting too messed up after you put water on it. And then you just want to make sure that you wait until it's dry to pull your tape off. So let's get started. Okay, so I've got my smaller piece here, and I just want to kind of divide my paper into two sections. So the bottom 2/3 of the paper is where the orangey part of the carrot is going to be, and the top part is the little greeny stuff that sticks out. So I'm just going to mark really lightly about where I want my carrot to be versus the green part. So the next thing is you're just going to put down water in the shape of a carrot. So I'm just grabbing my paintbrush and I'm going to start laying water down underneath that line that I marked in. And you want to have enough water on there so that it's going to leave the paper wet, but you don't want it to be so unbelievably wet that it's just like a huge puddle on your page. And we're using this technique that's called wet on wet. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and spray these to get them a little bit wet so that I can grab the paint a little easier. Okay, so I've got my water laid down in the shape of the little carroty part, and it's not like a perfect cone shape, because if you have ever actually looked at a carrot, they're not perfectly shaped. Okay, so now Elijah has played with these and I can't tell what color's what, so I'm gonna just lay some down over here and see what I think. Okay, I think this bottom color is going to be about what I want. So I'm going to grab some paint on my brush, and I'm just going to start going in around the edges of where I've laid in the water. I'm going to work pretty quickly while the area is still wet. So after I went around the edges, now I'm just kind of laying in these little stripey sections. It's going to look super cool when it dries. I'm grabbing a little bit of the other orangey color. I think it's kind of reddish, but it's going to look great. And I think I might even use a little bit of yellow here in a minute. If you can hear children in the background, that's my kids playing outside. Okay, I'm gonna rinse my brush, and I'm gonna grab some of this yellowish orangey color. Put some of that in the middle. Okay, I'm pretty happy with how that looks. Now, while this section is drying, I'm going to go ahead and start putting in the leafy part. So I'm going to work with a couple of different colors of green. I've got this yellowy green here. I don't know if y'all can see that in the shot. I'm going to pull it over. There's a yellowy green, there's like a bluish green, and then kind of just a plain green over here. So I'm going to use all of those, and I may even work with some yellow and some brown as well. Okay, the first thing is I just want to lay in my strokes for the stems of the leafy part. So I'm using really light pressure. I want to make with a vertical hold, not a horizontal hold, and I'm trying to make straight lines, straightish lines from the very center of the top of the carrot. And it skipped a little bit, and that's okay. Try to get as thin lines as you can. Okay.
I found a cocoon on a branch.
Cool. I'm videoing. Okay. So I've started to lay in my leaves, and you can see that the orange is bleeding into the green part, and I think that's going to look super cool. Okay, I'm going to put in a little bit of a darker area. Okay. And now I'm going to start putting in the leafy part. So I'm just going to be, I'm not trying to paint every single leaf. I'm just going to be doing these little like dot kind of looks. I need the paint to be a little bit wetter. I'm going to paint like a little teeny tiny one down here on the bottom. That's going to look cute. Put in some of that yellowy green there. And maybe even just a touch of brown. Okay. Just kind of like almost like little polka dotty sort of a look. You can use all different colors and it's not going to look weird. It just looks pretty. Okay. So now we've finished our little leafy area. I love it. So we want to come back to the carrot. And if you've ever seen a carrot that has just been pulled, it's got these little stringy spots. So I'm going to try to paint in some of those. Let's grab this color. Just very bottom of it, just to make it very, very tiny. I might put a couple more up here. Yeah. Okay. And then I want to put in some little lines on the sides. My carrot is still wet, so I don't know how well that's going to stay, but I'm not feeling terribly patient at the moment to let it dry. I may have to. I may have to let it dry and come back. I'm just trying to put in those little lines that you've seen on the sides of the carrots to make it look more rigid. I'll grab a little bit of brown to put up at the top to kind of let you see that this is a three-dimensional shape. Okay. I'm gonna have to wait to put in the lines because they're just bleeding at the moment. Okay, so I'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, so my carrot has mostly dried, so I'm gonna come in and put the last little details in. Let's grab this color again. And I'm just putting these little like dashy lines here. Not all over, just kind of randomly. If you put them everywhere, it's not going to look realistic. I might grab just the tiniest little bit of red. To make it darker and show up a little bit better. And then the very last thing, well, a couple more things, is I want to erase my pencil line and then sign it. So I'm just going to erase here. Just being very careful not to get into the paint. And then you just want to sign it.
Daddy's not in here. Okay, time to close the door.
4, 9, 20. I don't know when y'all will watch this, but that's what today is. I hope that you'll paint this with me. It's a lot of fun. Have a great day.